This is the most OTT first-class product on any train in Europe, I think.
In today's video, join me on board Trenitalia's Frecciarossa executive class, Italy's best train. Come for the incredible seats and high speed, well, some of the way, and stay for the great service, the lounge, and a train with a private meeting room and its own proper coffee machine. We're heading from Rome to Venice at up to 300 kilometers per hour. Enjoy the video. Today's video starts at Roma's Termini station in the heart of the Italian capital, Italy's busiest railway station, with over 850 trains every day and 150 million passengers served every year.
One of the big benefits of buying an executive ticket is you do get access to the Freccia lounges, and there's one here at Roma Termini.
These first-class lounges are found only in Rome, Milan, Bologna, Florence and Naples, and are for gold and platinum Freccia card holders, the railway's frequent traveller scheme, and passengers in executive class on Frecciarossa, Italy's top-rated train. They're not quite like airline lounges. The food isn't as good, and to be fair, you shouldn't be here for hours either. Although the coffee is absolutely incredible, something we'll find is replicated on the train. Well, it is Italy. Termini's 32 platforms can be a little confusing. Trains depart from here to all over Italy. Here is private high-speed operator Italo, which I'll be reviewing later this year, and an ETR 500 train, one of the older train sets you'll find operating Frecciarossa services. Our train will be the newest type, the Frecciarossa 1000.
Our train has just arrived, so let's go and check it out. This is Italy's headline train. Today we are right at the front of the train in coach number 1. This is an 8-car train, so just a little bit of walking for me today.
The entirety of Car 1 is dedicated to executive class. It has its own galley and a swanky pre-bookable meeting room, a fairly unusual sight on a train. I wonder how often this gets used though.
Wow. Wow.
There are just 10 huge rotating seats in Car 1. The staff can turn them to make pairs of 2 or solo seats if you fancy a little privacy. And talking of privacy, I think we are going to get a lot of it today, as nobody else will join me for the whole trip. Now, there's a good reason for that though, as we'll find out shortly.
Wow, these seats are absolutely gigantic. This is the most OTT first-class product on any train in Europe, I think.
Before we leave, I've got a little time to check out Trenitalia's free Wi-Fi, which also comes with an entertainment system and a handy GPS map, which also indicates the train's speed. Handy. We leave bang on time at 13:30. As do 2 other trains, and we have a pretty cool triple parallel departure going on here. Punctual.
Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark, an award-winning VPN, virtual private network. Now, there are loads of great reasons to use Surfshark. Today, I'm flying from Boston to Houston. Surfshark is a great barrier of protection from prying eyes on public networks, like at the airport or even on board the plane, and I've got it turned on by default. It's also January sales time in the UK, and a lot of airlines and hotels have sales. But what if I told you that the price you pay might be dependent on the country the company thinks you're accessing their website from? Yes, it's called price discrimination. Sometimes access is even blocked to these sites, and you'd be surprised at how even in the sales, there can be a lot of difference between the prices you pay depending on where you're accessing the website from. This is where Surfshark can help. It's such an easy tool to use. Play around with your location, perhaps select some low-income countries, and voila, you'll find the prices might just change in your favour. Surfshark has over 3,000 servers in more than 100 countries, so you're sure to find a virtual location that suits you. It's an incredible tool. It's my travel-sized Swiss Army knife, and it's available to you, my subscribers, at a special rate. Go to surfshark.com/winging for 4 extra months for free of Surfshark VPN.
Our first stop after just a couple of minutes is at the suburban station of Roma Tiburtina, where we pick up a few more passengers, but none in executive class. Executive class comes with a full meal service, and this is a pretty impressive menu for a high-speed railway, don't you think? We're soon approaching Settebagni, and I noticed something a little bit odd. We've moved off the high-speed line onto the classic provincial line here, and I've just realised my mistake. Our train 9423 usually leaves Roma Termini at 14:35, over an hour later than we have today. I hadn't spotted when booking that this train is going to take 5 hours instead of the usual 4 to get to Venice today. And that's one of the reasons why I think nobody else has joined the train in executive class.
Well, it looks like we have got the whole place to ourselves for possibly the whole journey. I'll drink to that. Cheers. Oh, yes.
This dish is a special herby sea bream with broccoli by Italian TV chef Carlo Cracco. You can order sides with this, by the way, but I wasn't super hungry and I had dinner plans in Venice. And I've got to say, this was excellent. Executive class is renowned for great food, and it didn't disappoint. The apple and cinnamon cake for dessert was absolutely delightful as well. 10 out of 10. This line is the classic, slower Rome to Florence railway, opened in stages between 1862 and 1875. It's actually quite pretty, and the more sedate speed gives us a chance to drink in the scenery a little more than the high-speed line, which runs roughly parallel a few miles to the west. This is Europe's best train seat, by the way. It's moderately adjustable to face inwards or outwards towards the window, although if you do want to make up a facing pair like this, the staff will need to do that for you. There's a sturdy tray table, an array of seat adjustment buttons, not dissimilar to an airline's business class seat, and 2 charge points at every seat. This very large, comfortable armchair offers generous recline, although it doesn't convert into a bed. Here we rejoin the high-speed line and proceed at line speed to Florence. This is a bit more like it. The top speed for these trains is 300 kilometers per hour, although we won't quite top out that speed on this journey today. Executive class has its own bathroom, which is pretty nice. It is worth pointing out too, it also comes with a baby changing table, although I doubt many babies travel in this sort of luxury. We're now approaching Florence and the station of Firenze Santa Maria Novella. On the way in, I check out the stunning quarter roundhouse, which must have been quite the sight in its day. It's looking a little bit sorry for itself today, though. There is a lot of padding in today's timetable, and we're over 15 minutes early.
So we're here in Florence, and we're not due off until 16:20. That is nearly half an hour's time. So a little bit of time to stretch my legs and get some fresh air. Very unusual to get this on the Italian high-speed network.
Now, travelling in executive class really is just for a treat. I usually go for business when travelling through Italy. The fare in here includes a complimentary welcome drink, like a coffee, soft drink or prosecco, and a small snack box. There are still power sockets at every seat and free Wi-Fi. And unlike executive class, which only has fully flex fares available, there are often great deals in business class when booking in advance. It's worth pointing out the ride quality on these trains is incredible. This is 200 kilometers an hour through a tunnel. Normally you'd expect a fair bit of buffeting and a pretty poor ride quality, but this is almost like flying. It's really smooth and very quiet too. One thing that people often don't point out about Trenitalia is that executive class has its own proper coffee machine, and it makes a really good espresso. We now cross the River Po, taking us into the region of Veneto. Our next stop is the provincial city of Rovigo. While we're here, I spotted this fantastic special livery on this regional train. It's a representation of the flag of Veneto. I think it's really cool. Although I have to say the special livery applied to this locomotive is perhaps a little less welcome. We're now on the home straight to Venice, and darkness is falling as we cross the water into Venezia Santa Lucia station, our destination today.
Thank you. Good night.
And there we have it. Not as fast as I'd have liked, but that's on me. We're now in Venice. My trip in executive class cost me a whopping €230 one way. As a comparison, business, which I showed you earlier, was just €48.90. But I've always wanted a trip in Europe's best high-speed railway seat, and I do think it's worth as a treat, and I'm glad to have done it. Thank you so much again to Surfshark for sponsoring the video. Go to surfshark.com/wingin for 4 extra months of Surfshark. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.